A vast state in the far northwest of the United States, it's home to some of the most pristine natural beauty, from glacier-capped mountains to remote coastal fjords. Alongside its remarkable landscapes, the region also draws travelers with its rich indigenous heritage and unique wildlife, offering a travel experience unlike anywhere else. Let's take a closer look at what makes Alaska unlike anywhere else. This land is home to towering peaks, sprawling tundra, and icy waters that support some of the richest marine ecosystems in North America. National parks protect vast wilderness areas, while small towns reflect the cultural imprint. Visitors can witness bears fishing for salmon, explore glacial valleys carved over centuries, and travel scenic highways that reveal the changing face of Alaska at every turn. The balance of natural scale and cultural depth makes Alaska one of the most extraordinary destinations. Before continuing the video, we have a quiz for you. Arrange the following letters to name a famous Alaskan island known for its giant brown bears. We have a hint. This island shares its name with a bear species that lives only there, bigger than most grizzlies and just as wild. Please comment your answer below this video. Now, let's come to our discovery of this amazing place. Anchorage is the largest city in Alaska and functions as the state's commercial, transportation, and cultural hub. Located in south-central Alaska, the city stretches between the Chugach Mountains and the coastal waters of Cook Inlet, offering visitors a rare blend of urban life and wilderness access. The city was established in 1915 to support the construction of the Alaska Railroad. Its strategic location quickly made it a center for logistics and trade in the region. Over time, Anchorage grew into a vital link between remote communities and the rest of the United States. During World War II, the city played a significant military role with the construction of airfields and army bases, and it continued to serve as a key defense point during the Cold War. Anchorage experienced a major turning point on March 27, 1964, when a powerful 9.2 magnitude earthquake struck the region. It was the most powerful quake ever recorded in North America, causing widespread destruction. The city, however, recovered rapidly in the following years, rebuilding with modern infrastructure and safety measures that shaped its current form. Today, Anchorage welcomes travelers year-round with a wide range of experiences. In winter, the city offers a chance to witness the northern lights, while summer brings nearly 22 hours of daylight, allowing extended time for exploration. Anchorage's location provides convenient access to Alaska's natural landmarks, including mountains, rivers, and glaciers, making it an ideal base for those seeking outdoor activities. Anchorage is home to a variety of museums and institutions that reflect the rich heritage of Alaska's indigenous communities and the state's development over the past century. Tongass National Forest is the largest national forest in the United States, covering approximately 17 million acres in southeast Alaska. This expansive area includes a mix of temperate rainforest, mountain ranges, fjords, and thousands of islands. The forest plays a vital role in maintaining biodiversity, providing a habitat for a wide variety of wildlife. The forest supports local communities through fishing, tourism, and small-scale logging, while also serving as a source of traditional sustenance for many Alaska Native groups. Tongass is known for its high levels of carbon storage, contributing to global climate regulation and ongoing conservation efforts. Tongass is also home to several small towns and villages that serve as gateways to the forest's attractions. These communities often reflect a blend of indigenous heritage and frontier history, with cultural events and local craftsmanship forming part of the visitor experience. The forest also includes designated wilderness areas and national monuments, protecting significant portions of land from development. Throughout the year, Tongass offers changing scenery and seasonal wildlife activity. In summer, long daylight hours reveal green canopies and active salmon streams, while autumn brings vibrant foliage and migratory birds. Winter is quieter, but still accessible, especially for those interested in photography or remote travel. Despite its vastness, the forest remains connected to regional transportation routes, including ferries and small airports, which help visitors explore even the more secluded sections. Glacier Bay is located in southeastern Alaska and forms part of a protected national park and preserve covering over 3 million acres. This region includes a combination of deep fjords, coastal mountains, temperate rainforests, and active tidewater glaciers. The area is recognized internationally for its ecological value and is part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, shared with other sites in the Canadian and American Pacific coast. Its diverse habitats support a wide range of wildlife, including humpback whales, sea lions, harbor seals, porpoises, and seabirds. Glacier Bay is a destination for nature observation and research, attracting scientists and tourists alike. The dramatic ice calving events from the glaciers are a highlight for many visitors, offering a view of massive ice chunks breaking off into the water. Travelers typically access Glacier Bay by boat or small aircraft. The bay is part of a remote and protected landscape, with limited road infrastructure, helping preserve its natural conditions. The weather is often cool and moist, with fog and light rain common throughout the summer months. Conditions change rapidly, and visitors are advised to prepare for shifting visibility and temperature. Located at the meeting point of three rivers in south-central Alaska, Talkeetna is a small town that plays a notable role in the region's transportation and tourism networks. Positioned between Anchorage and Denali, it provides one of the clearest views of the mountains and often serves as a stopover for travelers heading farther north. The town began to take shape in the early 20th century when the Alaska Railroad project created a need for supply depots and worker housing. Over time, Talkeetna developed into a center for mining, trapping, and regional trade, with its town site officially platted in 1919. Much of Talkeetna's original layout and architecture has been preserved, reflecting the character of early railroad-era Alaska. The town is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and continues to draw attention for its compact, walkable layout and preserved wooden structures. Talkeetna is widely known as a destination for mountain adventure. Known for producing some of the largest vegetables in Alaska, thanks to its long summer days and rich glacial soil, the town of Palmer stands out as a center of agriculture in the Matanuska Valley. Located in south-central Alaska, this small city has built its identity around farming since the 1930s, when families from the American Midwest were resettled here through a New Deal program. That movement laid the foundation for the community's lasting focus on crops, dairy, and livestock. Early federal investment supported the construction of barns, homes, and public infrastructure, many of which remain in use today. Agricultural fairs, seasonal markets, and local farms continue to play a visible role in daily life, offering visitors the chance to experience a part of Alaska. Palmer's surrounding landscape includes wide open fields bordered by mountain ridges and braided rivers. The valley's relatively moderate summer temperatures and extended daylight support a wide range of outdoor activities. Opportunities for hiking, photography, and nature viewing are accessible through developed trails and scenic roadways, many of which stay open year-round depending on conditions. The town is located along a main highway corridor and can be reached by car in under an hour from Anchorage. It serves as a common stop for those traveling through the valley or heading toward nearby glaciers. Known as Alaska's first city on the Inside Passage, Ketchikan introduces many visitors to the state's marine forests and rich indigenous heritage. The town began as a salmon canning center in the late 1800s and has since grown into a gateway for cruise passengers. Visitors see the world's largest collection of standing totem poles throughout town and at public cultural centers, reflecting Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian traditions. Interpretive displays and preserved clan artifacts further offer insight into Alaska Native communities, with year-round programs available. Outdoor activities are varied and accessible. Guided fishing charters highlight Ketchikan's salmon capital status and connect anglers with local waterways. Exploring on foot or by small vehicle is simple in Ketchikan's compact footprint. A creekside boardwalk on stilts runs along historical waterways, lined with shops, galleries, and eateries. Several sightseeing operators offer sea kayak and float plane excursions that venture into the lush temperate forest and icy waters. Many travelers pass through between April and September aboard more than 500 cruise ships, bringing an estimated 1.5 million visitors each year. The busy season begins in spring and peaks by mid-June as ships consistently deliver over 15,000 passengers daily. Local transportation includes scheduled float planes and state ferry routes, providing flexible entry to both the town and surrounding wilderness. The subtropical-like climate results in frequent rainfall year-round, supporting the rich vegetation that defines the region. Situated along the southern coastline of Unalaska Island, Anderson Bay is a remote inlet shaped by volcanic terrain and marine erosion. Its shoreline features a mix of rocky slopes and low-lying tundra, bordered by cliffs that descend directly into the Bering Sea. The bay is part of a rugged coastal system typical of the Aleutian Islands, where weather, currents, and topography shift rapidly across short distances. Access is limited to boat or float plane, with no permanent settlements or infrastructure in the immediate area. The surrounding environment supports a variety of marine life, including seabirds, sea lions, and fish species common to the North Pacific. offshore winds and fog are frequent, with visibility and sea conditions subject to sudden change throughout the year. Anderson Bay falls within a region shaped by both natural processes and historic use. The coastline reflects ongoing volcanic activity in the Aleutians, while remnants of past military operations and subsistence use remain visible in select areas. The bay today is occasionally visited for research, seasonal harvesting, or remote observation, offering a view into the raw maritime environment of western Alaska. Experiencing some of the most extreme seasonal contrasts in the United States, with long, cold winters and extended daylight in summer, Fairbanks stands as Alaska's second-largest city and a key inland center for transportation, education, and research. Located in the Tanana Valley, it lies just under 200 miles south of the Arctic Circle and serves as a regional hub for communities across the interior. Originally established as a trading post in the early 1900s, during a gold rush along the Knik River, the city developed rapidly with the arrival of the Alaska Railroad, and later with the construction of military installations and the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline. Today, Fairbanks is home to research institutions and science centers focusing on Arctic studies, space physics, and climate monitoring, many of which offer public exhibitions and educational programs. It also hosts seasonal festivals and cultural events that reflect the heritage of both indigenous and settler communities. In summer, river cruises, hiking, and hot springs visits are common. In winter, the city becomes a popular base for viewing the aurora borealis due to its location under a consistent auroral oval. Transportation options include highway access, regional flights, and rail service, making Fairbanks one of the most connected cities in interior Alaska. Lodging and visitor services are available throughout the year, supporting both independent travelers and group tours. Museums, art spaces, and interpretive centers provide insight into the region's natural history and ongoing scientific work. Local trails and parks are within easy reach, while more remote areas of interior Alaska are accessible by small aircraft or overland routes. Accessible only by air or sea, Juneau is the capital of Alaska and one of the few U.S. state capitals with no road connection to the rest of the state. It lies in southeastern Alaska along the Gastineau Channel, backed by coastal mountains and surrounded by waterways, glaciers, and dense forest. The city covers over 3,200 square miles, making it one of the largest municipalities by area in the United States, despite having a relatively small population. Juneau was founded in the 1880s, following the discovery of gold in the surrounding hills. It quickly grew as a center for mining activity and was later designated as the territorial capital in 1906. Government functions now dominate the local economy alongside tourism, fishing, and transportation services that support surrounding communities. The city serves as a year-round destination for travelers. Cruise ships, air travelers, and ferry passengers arrive during the warmer months, drawn by the combination of mountainous scenery, cultural institutions, and outdoor access. Weather conditions include frequent rain and cool temperatures throughout the year, with summer highs averaging in the 60s Fahrenheit. Juneau hosts a number of cultural events and maintains several institutions focused on Alaskan heritage, natural history, and the arts. Indigenous cultures remain a visible and active part of community life, with permanent exhibits and public art throughout the city. Visitors use trails, aerial trams, and boat tours to explore the surrounding terrain, which includes glacial valleys, coastal forests, and fjords. Wildlife sightings are common and may include eagles, whales, and black bears, depending on the time of year and location. Seward functions as both a deep water port and a gateway to coastal fjords. The city is positioned along the shoreline of Resurrection Bay on the Kenai Peninsula and is surrounded by steep mountain ranges and marine ecosystems. It was established in 1903 and named after William H. Seward, the U.S. Secretary of State, who negotiated the purchase of Alaska from Russia in 1867. Seward has developed as a center for marine transport, tourism, and science. It serves as a departure point for cruise ships, cargo vessels, and research expeditions. A year-round ice-free harbor supports commercial activity, while seasonal passenger vessels bring thousands of visitors during the summer months. The local economy benefits from both ocean-based industries and overland travel, with consistent links to Anchorage by road and rail. Recreation opportunities are shaped by the area's coastal geography. Hiking trails rise into alpine terrain above the city, while boats and kayaks explore nearby bays and coves. Visitors often use local charters to observe marine life or to access more remote parts of the nearby coastline. Seward experiences cool, wet conditions for much of the year, with relatively mild temperatures by Alaskan standards. Infrastructure within the town includes lodging, dining, and transport services tailored to both residents and tourists. Famous for having one of the world's largest tidal ranges, Turnagain Arm is a narrow waterway branching off from Cook Inlet in south-central Alaska. The arm stretches roughly 45 miles southeast from Anchorage and is framed by steep mountain slopes and active geological formations. Tides here can rise and fall over 30 feet in a matter of hours, producing visible bore tides that attract both sightseers and experienced surfers during the right lunar phases. The area was named in the late 18th century during an expedition led by Captain James Cook, whose crew was forced to turn back when the inlet failed to lead to the Northwest Passage. Since then, Turnagain Arm has become known not only for its history, but also for its dramatic landscapes, shifting mudflats, and unique tidal behavior. The corridor is often used as a scenic travel route, with a highway running along one edge of the arm, providing access to nearby towns and outdoor recreation sites. Wildlife, such as beluga whales, eagles, and mountain goats, are commonly seen along the shoreline or on the adjacent cliffs, depending on the season and time of day. Glacial streams and sediment from the surrounding mountains flow into the arm, creating constantly changing shorelines. The mud flats appear solid, but are dangerous due to their quicksand-like consistency. and visitors are advised to observe the area from marked pullouts or designated viewing spots. The waterway also plays a role in regional transportation and ecosystem health. Its strong tidal movements mix saltwater and freshwater, supporting marine life and feeding grounds for migratory birds. Often referred to as Alaska's playground, the Kenai Peninsula offers a wide range of landscapes and outdoor opportunities. The peninsula extends roughly 150 miles southwest from the mainland and is bordered by Cook Inlet to the west and the Gulf of Alaska to the south and east. It includes river valleys, coastal fjords, ice fields, wetlands, and mountain ranges shaped by glacial activity. Indigenous peoples have lived on the peninsula for thousands of years, and their presence continues through local communities and cultural sites. Russian exploration in the 18th century introduced trade routes and settlements, some of which remain part of the region's heritage. The peninsula's modern development has focused on tourism, fishing, and small-scale resource industries, supported by a network of towns and transportation corridors. The area is known for its seasonal salmon runs and supports both commercial and recreational fisheries. Rivers, lakes, and coastal waters are commonly used for fishing, boating, and wildlife viewing. Glaciers and fjords are accessible by road, trail, and boat, offering visitors a variety of entry points into the region's natural systems. The combination of mountains and coastlines provides views of active volcanoes, ice fields, and marine wildlife in a relatively compact area. Roads and highways link the peninsula's population centers, and the Alaska Railroad runs through parts of the region, enhancing access for both locals and travelers. Regional airports and ferry services provide additional routes into the area. Visitor services include lodging, outfitters, and interpretive programs tailored to both day trips and extended stays. Unalaska is a remote city in the Aleutian Islands that serves as a key port for maritime industry. The community lies on Unalaska Island and nearby Amoknak Island, with the harbor area supporting one of the busiest seafood ports in the United States by volume. The surrounding waters are rich in crab, pollock, and other species that drive much of the local economy. Unalaska has a long history of habitation, with archaeological evidence indicating more than 9,000 years of continuous settlement by the Unagax people. Russian explorers arrived in the mid-1700s, and the region later became a site of military activity during World War II. Historical influences remain visible in local landmarks, museums, and cultural programs that reflect both indigenous heritage and foreign contact. The city's geographic location places it within a maritime climate, marked by strong winds, frequent fog, and relatively mild temperatures for its latitude. Fishing and shipping dominate economic activity, supported by harbors, processing facilities, and a seasonal workforce. Tourism plays a smaller role, but continues to grow as visitors arrive for birdwatching, hiking, and to learn about local history. The area's terrain features rugged hills, volcanic formations, and coastal cliffs shaped by wind and erosion. Public services and residential areas are concentrated near the harbor, with schools, shops, and government buildings supporting the year-round population. Trails and gravel roads extend into nearby hills, offering views of the coastline and offshore islands. Wildlife in the area includes seabirds, foxes, and marine mammals commonly seen from shore or boat. Rising just east of Anchorage, Chugach State Park encompasses nearly 500,000 acres of rugged terrain that ranges from sea level wetlands to alpine ice fields above 8,000 feet. Its landscape is a dramatic mix of steep, glacially carved valleys, rocky ridgelines, and coastal inlets shaped by a combination of tectonic uplift and dense rainfall. The park hosts large glaciers, still feed blue ice lakes, and streams that flow into lower elevations. Snow-covered peaks form a continuous backdrop across the upper elevations of the park, with ridge lines often remaining frozen well into late summer. These mountains are shaped by centuries of glacial activity, leaving behind sharp valleys, exposed rock faces, and permanent ice fields. Seasonal snowfall contributes to ongoing accumulation in shaded basins, while the higher zones support several active ice formations that persist year-round. Vegetation zones shift rapidly here. Lush spruce birch woodlands and temperate rainforest at lower elevations give way to subalpine scrub, and then to bare rock and perennial snowfields higher up. Wildlife is also abundant and frequents the cliffs, while wolves and wolverines occasionally roam the remote areas. Over 280 miles of trails and 16 public trailheads serve both experienced mountaineers and families. In winter, many of these same trails become groomed for cross-country skiing, snowmobiling, and snowshoeing, adapting effortlessly to seasonal change. Chugach State Park is just a 20-minute drive from downtown Anchorage, making it one of the most accessible large wilderness areas in the United States. Valdez is one of the northernmost ports in North America that remain ice-free throughout the year. Surrounded by the Chugach Mountains, the city serves as a transportation hub and year-round access point to coastal Alaska. It holds strategic importance as the southern terminus of the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline, where crude oil from the North Slope is loaded onto tankers for shipment. Originally established in the late 1800s during a short-lived gold rush, the town was relocated after the 1964 earthquake due to ground instability. The rebuilt community now includes a modern port, industrial facilities, and a network of roads that connect it to the Richardson Highway. Despite its remote setting, Valdez remains accessible by land, air, and ferry. The surrounding landscape features glaciers, waterfalls, and steep fjord walls shaped by ice and tectonic movement. These features attract visitors interested in photography, hiking, fishing, and marine wildlife observation. Sea otters, seals, and whales are commonly seen in the surrounding waters, particularly during the summer season. Valdez experiences a maritime climate with high annual snowfall, making it one of the snowiest inhabited places in the United States. Winter recreation is supported by backcountry routes and maintained areas used for skiing and snowmobiling. In summer, extended daylight hours support a wide range of outdoor activity in the nearby mountains and along the coastline. Tourism, freight, and energy continue to drive the local economy. The city's layout remains compact, with most services located within a short distance from the waterfront and harbor area. Designated to protect the aftermath of a massive volcanic eruption in 1912, Katmai National Park and Preserve covers over 4 million acres of remote wilderness in southwestern Alaska. The region includes a combination of volcanic terrain, glacial valleys, tundra, rivers, and rugged coastline. The park's most distinctive wildlife feature is its dense brown bear population, which draws visitors each summer during peak salmon runs. Bears congregate along rivers to feed, and structured viewing areas have been established to manage both safety and access. Beyond bears, the park supports a range of Arctic and subarctic species, including wolves, moose, and numerous migratory birds. Volcanic activity continues to shape the landscape, with more than a dozen active volcanoes located within park boundaries. The area originally gained protected status due to the eruption of Nova Rupta, which produced the Valley of 10,000 Smokes, an ash-filled basin formed by pyroclastic flows and long-lasting geothermal vents. Access to Katmai is limited to small planes and boats. Most visitors arrive via charter flights from regional communities, and participate in guided activities or lodge-based stays. Scientific monitoring is ongoing in Katmai, focusing on both geological activity and ecological systems. The park plays a role in wildlife research, especially regarding predator behavior and salmon-bear dynamics. Originally developed as a gateway to the Klondike goldfields, Skagway remains one of Alaska's most visited historic towns. Located at the northern end of the Inside Passage, the town was established in the late 1890s and served as a major supply center during the Gold Rush era. Many of its original buildings have been preserved or restored, contributing to its continued role as a heritage tourism destination. Skagway lies in a narrow glacial valley surrounded by steep mountains and deep fjords. Its location allows cruise ships and ferries to dock directly near the town center, bringing large numbers of visitors during the summer season. Weather conditions in Skagway are generally cooler and drier than other parts of southeast Alaska, with relatively low precipitation for the region. Summer temperatures are mild, and extended daylight hours allow for full-day excursions. Homer is a coastal city on the southwestern edge of the Kenai Peninsula. The area's geography includes beaches, forests, and mountain views across the bay. Originally settled in the late 19th century, Homer developed around coal mining and fishing operations before expanding its harbor facilities and road links in the mid-20th century. Today, it functions as a service center for smaller communities across the lower peninsula and nearby waters. Its economy is anchored by fishing, charter operations, and visitor services that peak during the summer months. The climate in Homer is moderated by the surrounding ocean, with cooler summers and relatively mild winters compared to interior Alaska. Residents and visitors engage in seasonal events, educational programs, and conservation activities tied to the surrounding marine and terrestrial ecosystems. Rising to just over 3,100 feet above interior Alaska, Wickersham Dome offers hikers one of the most accessible alpine vantage points near Fairbanks. Located about 28 miles north on the Aleutian Highway, the summit trail begins at a marked trailhead with parking and basic amenities. The route climbs steadily through boreal spruce forest before opening into rocky tundra, providing sweeping 360-degree views. The Out and Back Trail stretches approximately 6 to 7 miles round trip, with an elevation gain around 1,200 feet and a mostly well-defined path. Trail popularity is notable, rated around 4.4 out of 5 by users for its combination of scenery, manageable difficulty, and solitude compared to more congested routes. Navigation across open tundra above the tree line requires hikers to follow trail markers, especially when weather shifts quickly in this region. Wickersham Dome is maintained by the U.S. Bureau of Land Management as part of the White Mountains National Recreation Area. Once the capital of Russian America, Sitka is a coastal city in southeast Alaska located on Baranof Island, facing the Pacific Ocean. Its setting combines forested mountains, volcanic peaks, and sheltered waterways, offering direct access to marine and island environments. The area's layered history includes indigenous Tlingit settlement, Russian colonization in the 18th and 19th centuries, and later American administration following the Alaska Purchase in 1867. Sitka is not connected to the mainland by road, but it remains accessible via air and ferry service throughout the year. Economic activity includes commercial fishing, tourism, and small-scale manufacturing. Cultural and environmental programs contribute to its role as both a working town and visitor destination. Seasonal tourism peaks in summer, when cruise ships and independent travelers arrive to experience the region's mix of natural scenery and historical interpretation. Indigenous heritage is visible in public art, language, and community events, reflecting continuous Tlingit presence and cultural leadership. Sitka's colonial architecture and preserved landmarks also highlight its Russian past. Surrounding landscapes include temperate rainforest, islands, and coastal mountains, with mild temperatures and high precipitation year-round. Hiking, kayaking, and wildlife observation are common visitor activities, particularly during the long daylight hours of summer. Marine mammals and seabirds are frequently observed offshore, while trails and viewpoints offer access to inland terrain. Matanuska Glacier, stretching over 25 miles in length and visible from the Glen Highway, is one of the most accessible valley glaciers in Alaska. Located in the Matanuska region, it flows from the Chugach Mountains into a broad glacial valley northeast of Anchorage. Unlike many glaciers in the state, it can be reached directly by road and is viewable without aircraft or water transport. Matanuska Glacier is classified as a valley glacier, with its ice fed by snowfall in the surrounding mountains and slowly moving through a natural channel. Surface features include crevasses, meltwater streams, and ice formations that vary by season and temperature. The glacier continues to advance and retreat in short cycles, shaped by both climate patterns and underlying terrain. Walking tours, guided treks, and ice climbing are offered seasonally, with safety equipment and instruction provided by licensed operators. The glacier is located on a mix of public and private land, and access to the toe requires a day-use fee. Observation areas are also available for those not participating in guided activity. Serving as one of Alaska's primary transportation corridors, the Seward Highway connects Anchorage with the Kenai Peninsula, covering a distance of roughly 125 miles. The route is recognized as a National Scenic Byway and passes through a range of landscapes, including coastal inlets, alpine valleys, and glacier-carved mountains. Completed in stages throughout the mid-20th century, the highway now provides year-round access to multiple communities and recreation areas in south-central Alaska. It supports both local traffic and long-distance travel, including freight movement, tourism, and commuter use. Maintenance is managed by the Alaska Department of Transportation, with regular updates based on weather and road conditions. Travelers along the route experience shifts in elevation, climate, and vegetation as the highway leaves the Anchorage area and moves south through mountainous zones. Roadside pullouts, bridges, and tunnels offer access to viewing areas, trailheads, and interpretive markers. Safety infrastructure includes avalanche protection systems, wildlife crossings, and weather monitoring sites positioned at key points. Conditions vary by segment. Coastal sections often experience fog, rain, and high winds, while interior stretches may have clearer skies and colder temperatures. Speed limits adjust based on topography and usage zones, and wildlife may appear near the road, particularly during early morning and evening hours. The Seward Highway allows travelers to view a cross-section of south-central Alaska from the window of a moving vehicle. Girdwood is a mountain town located roughly 40 miles southeast of Anchorage along the Seward Highway corridor. Positioned at the base of the Chugach Mountains, the community sits within a broad valley shaped by retreating glaciers and is bordered by tidal flats on one side and alpine terrain on the other. Originally established as a gold mining camp in the early 20th century, the town gradually transitioned into a resort destination with the development of winter sports infrastructure and year-round recreation services. Today, it maintains a small resident population alongside seasonal increases in visitors drawn by access to skiing, hiking, and sightseeing opportunities. The area experiences high precipitation throughout the year, contributing to dense vegetation and deep winter snowpack. One of the more unique seasonal experiences available near Girdwood involves guided excursions that allow visitors to drive specially equipped vehicles across glacial ice. These tours typically operate on surrounding ice fields accessible by helicopter. Visitors are flown to remote glacier sites where they are instructed in the use of low-pressure, track-based vehicles designed for safe movement on ice. These tours are operated under strict environmental guidelines to prevent long-term impact on the glacier surface. Vehicles are limited in number and weight, and operators coordinate with local authorities to monitor ice stability and seasonal access windows. Safety equipment, orientation, and communication tools are standard for all outings, and tour lengths vary based on conditions and travel method. Fed by glacial meltwater from the Chugach Mountains, the Knik River flows through a broad valley in south-central Alaska before emptying into the northern end of Cook Inlet. The river stretches approximately 25 miles and forms part of the larger watershed that defines the eastern edge of the Matanuska region. Shifting gravel bars, braided channels, and wide floodplains are characteristic features shaped by seasonal runoff and sediment transport. Although not part of any incorporated city, the surrounding area is located near several communities, with Wasilla and Palmer providing primary access by road. The river corridor remains largely undeveloped, with recreational use concentrated along accessible banks, pullouts, and river crossings. Conditions vary significantly throughout the year, with water levels rising sharply in late spring and early summer due to glacial runoff. Outdoor activity along the Knik River includes off-road driving, photography, boating, and wildlife observation. The open terrain and relatively flat valley floor provide opportunities for motorized access in designated zones. One of the primary crossings over the Knik River is a steel and concrete bridge located along the Glen Highway, offering uninterrupted road access between Anchorage and the communities of the Matanuska Valley. The structure spans the river's braided channel and provides a reliable route year-round, despite the seasonal rise and fall of water levels beneath. Guardrails, elevated approach ramps, and regularly maintained surfaces contribute to its role as a critical link in the region's transportation network. As the second largest island in the United States, Kodiak Island spans over 3,500 square miles in the Gulf of Alaska and supports a mix of coastal settlements, wilderness areas, and commercial harbors. Kodiak is known for its maritime climate, characterized by frequent fog, high humidity, and mild temperatures year-round. The island's terrain includes rugged coastlines, dense spruce forests, and alpine ridgelines shaped by glacial and volcanic forces. Kodiak Island is also home to a distinct subspecies of brown bear, known as the Kodiak bear, which is among the largest terrestrial carnivores in the world. These bears inhabit the island's remote valleys, coastal meadows, and forested foothills, supported by a seasonal diet that includes salmon, vegetation, berries, and marine resources. Population estimates indicate that several thousand individuals live across the island group, with densities higher in protected or food-rich areas. Dutch Harbor sits on Amoknak Island within the city of Unalaska and functions as a vital hub for North Pacific fishing activities. The harbor ranked first nationally by volume for more than 25 years, with over 770 million pounds of pollock, crab, and cod processed annually. The community developed around the rich marine ecosystem fed by the Bering Sea and Gulf currents, and today supports a workforce of several thousand residents. Salmon species, including pink, chum, sockeye, and coho, arrive in local bays and rivers, fueling both commercial operations and shore-based sport fishing. Dutch Harbor also carries historical significance. It is one of the few U.S. sites subjected to aerial bombardment when it was attacked in June 1942, marking a rare World War II military event on American soil. Remnants of wartime facilities and interpretive signage can be found near the harbor and airport areas. Tours often include opportunities for wildlife viewing, birding, and exploring local history. Access is available via regional flights to Unalaska Airport or by boat and ferry during the summer. Stretching over 1,100 miles from mainland Alaska toward the Russian Far East, the Aleutian Islands form a volcanic island chain that separates the Bering Sea from the Pacific Ocean. Composed of more than 70 islands, this arc marks the boundary of the Pacific tectonic plate and includes some of the most seismically active regions in the Northern Hemisphere. The terrain features rugged coastlines, steep volcanic slopes, and narrow passages shaped by ocean currents and frequent geological shifts. The islands experience persistent cloud cover, strong winds, and frequent precipitation due to their marine climate. Vegetation consists primarily of tundra, grasses, and low shrubs, with limited tree growth due to poor soil and harsh weather. Wildlife in the Aleutian Islands includes seabird colonies, marine mammals, and migratory species that rely on the islands as stopover points or breeding grounds. The region is part of multiple national wildlife refuges, which support ecological monitoring and conservation efforts. From icy fjords in the southeast to volcanic islands in the far west, Alaska offers a scale of nature few places can match. Its landscape shifts from dense rainforests and island harbors to open tundra, glacier-fed rivers, and snow-covered mountain passes. Along the way, wildlife thrives. Bears, eagles, whales, moving freely through national parks and untouched coastlines. The state's rich indigenous heritage and gold rush history echo through quiet towns and remote valleys.